Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the internet and of YouTube. Welcome back to Ringlight Fables. I am your host and Dungeon Master Skijaramaz, otherwise known as Toneshift. And with me today we have our full cast of players, starting with SepiaWolfe playing Tuki Fletcher, our Crovan thief.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, you are heard this time. Hooray! Awesome possum. We have Mick playing Boron, our half-dwarven battlemaster.
Good tidings.
We have Willyzin playing Ludviek, our Ithari paladin.
I'm trying to think of something clever to say, but I can't think of anything today.
We have Goldwyn playing Minnove, our kobold bard of lore.
See, I'm not going to just flaunt it. I'm just going to say hi. Make it simple.
And last but certainly not least, we have Impulsive playing Kari, our Crovan bard of glamour.
So who is the least if it's not me?
I don't know.
Nice save.
I think that, look man, that's just how the saying goes, alright? And last but not least...
The DM, Skijaramaz.
I mean, yeah, I'm not a player here.
Yeah, but you never introduced well, you do introduce yourself, but
I introduced myself first, yes. I am your host and dungeon master, Skijaramaz, otherwise known as Toneshift, otherwise known as DM. It says so right under my bird portrait thingy down there in the bottom right.
We have Elise now. I'm joking.
You know what? No, I'll take it, just so that I don't sound like an arrogant prick or I'm not putting anyone else down. I will shoulder the burden of the insult that is being labeled the least, so that none of you have to. Because I can deal with it. I'm pretty sure I'm the only one here who doesn't have a job. So, technically it's the truth.
YouTube is your job.
I'm not sure that counts with my income, but all right.
And your boss is horrible, so see, you're already like the rest of us.
Anyways.
Actually, my boss is great.
My boss is great. I love my bosses.
Okay, good.
I don't know who my boss is anymore.
We're at the spectrum. Anyways.
So... top form today, as you can see. So where last we left off, our intrepid band of adventurers had continued on their merry way after a brief encounter with some shroom-addled individuals deep in the heart of the Forest of 1,000 Rivers, while traveling toward the capital of Valrive, the Academy City of Asmara, to turn in some reports of the misdeeds of the woman named Veronica Shayela and just other personal, individual objectives, some old, some newer. Most prominent of which was the delivery of Donald Halkus, a young individual who has been in your party from the beginning, albeit largely useless because he's emaciated and was in a dungeon for several weeks, back to his family abode in the inner rings of the city. Upon delivering Donald back to his family, you were practically given a hero's welcome in exchange for, well, Donald's safe being. delivered to you by Donald's father, Godfried Halkus, who treated you all to dinner, a safe place to rest your heads for the night, and a promise that if at any point any of you have need of a boon of him, he owes each of you a favor. And some of you have already called those favors in to a lesser extent in the form of wanting to ascertain the whereabouts of certain individuals, others just tucking the favors away to be called upon at another time if ever the need should arise. Following that, the party finished their meals and tucked themselves away for the night for a good night of sleep. Most of you, at least. The ladies decided to have some fun, or rather, one of the ladies, Minnove, decided to have some fun, and a somewhat concerned Tuki was dragged along for the ride, half dragged, half went along willingly, which led to...
Dragged. Okay.
Dragged. Hauled along for the ride, put in the
He
trunk
wanted
in a...
to come. Don't act like she didn't.
Something, who knows, anyway. And, well, it is the repercussions of that late-night chicanery that we shall open up on. So we shall open, I guess, with the dawning of the sun. Next day. It is still a frustratingly gray and gloomy time in this late in the summer season week. Let's see here. Focus ping. So the camera is on that. There we go. All right. So the sun rises. You all begin to come to one at a time gradually. And who's up first?
Me.
Probably Tuki. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I suppose the better question is, between Boron and Ludviek, who would be the first up between the two?
Dice roll.
Very
Dice
likely
roll.
Ludviek.
Dice. Okay.
Most likely Ludviek, yeah.
All right. So, in that case, after a while, as the morning drags on, Ludviek, you will find yourself waking up. Feel some weird sort of tugging on your mane and your beard as you haul yourself out of bed, but it's nothing too much to worry about. You're tired. You figure you just need to take a nice comb through it. My recording screen is current. There we go. Now it's depicting what I wanted to depict. Yeah, So as you step out of your room, kind of stretching a bit, make a perception check for me, if you would be so kind, Ludviek.
Of course. As soon as my character sheet stops freezing. Alright, perception.
21. As you're stepping out, giving this big, fugly yawn, stretching your arms up into the air. As you're sort of bringing your arms back down, you pause when you notice your nails look different.
I do not remember them being so... green?
They're green and glittery.
He pauses. He thinks maybe he's just not fully awake yet. And proceeds to head towards, wherever there would be a washroom.
Sure. Heading in that general direction, I'd say, as you're sort of going down one of the corridors, sort of just scratching some of the itches out of your head, as you sort of come around a bend, you see Tora sort of down the hall, sort of looks like he's just en route from one thing to another. He looks up toward you. Good morning. Does a little double take, stops speaking and just kind of squints at you.
Good morning to you as well. Tora, yes, that was it. Is there a washroom of some kind nearby?
Yes, though I fear you may need a mirror more than a bath.
A mirror?
Yes.
Is there something on my face?
No, but, well, maybe a little bit. I have only met you the once last night, but I spent a fair bit of time with you, and I don't forget things. I don't recall you having such a magnificent curl in your mustache, or your cheeks being that red, or your eyes being that dark. There's a
Pretty
beat.
sure I slept quite well.
Not that kind of dark. Also, did you braid your mane?
Braid my mate. He reaches up to touch. And I guess at this point he realizes, wait a minute. He's just like patting around his whole head. He's like, this is wrong. Where is nearest mirror?
The washroom right this way. And as Tora's sort of like leading you down the corridor, there's this brief moment. I'll let you have it with that perception you rolled, where Tora just sort of pauses for a second, is like, now I understand, and continues to sort of usher you forward, usher you on.
Understand? What do you understand?
I was made privy to some secrets that have elucidated your state. I'm not sure I'm allowed to speak on it. I'm not sure the full extent of the privileges my honorary position come with. I do not know if it is a title and title only, or if it comes with obligations or anything. The mirror's through this door, as he sort of pushes it open for you.
And he just doesn't push him out of the way, but he does move very quickly through. He's kind of worried at this point.
Yeah, so you step through, look at yourself in the mirror, and I mean your mane has been just fully braided, combed. Your mustache has also been floofed up a bit and just brought into this beautiful big swirling curl. You've got some blush on your cheeks, bit of mascara around your eyes. And, of course, the claws on your hands and your toes have been painted and polished to be this extremely bright, shiny, glittery green.
He just stares at himself very closely. And then his hands, and his feet, and then back to his face. Somebody thinks they are quite humorless. Well, he gives a second look. Well, the mustache isn't too bad. But the rest is too far. it's like so then he just he's gonna spend the next while just washing out that mascara and just trying to untangle his beard. Not sure if you can do anything about the nails without some sort of remover, but at least he's gonna try and get himself repaired as much as possible. However, he's going to leave the mustache untouched.
The mustache stays.
It's like, I like the curl. I will keep the curl. All right. As for Boron, a perception check from you, please, as you start to come to. Well, as you mentioned to us previously, Boron will have had shit happen to him like this before. So you start to blearily sort of come awake after a long time of snoring, and as you're sort of shuffling up, you feel it in your mutton chops, and you know. Something's happened to you. They have done a thing.
Not again. Warily, he gets out of bed and slumps along to the washroom that he discovered last night.
In a separate washroom, and you see what has been done to you in the mirror there. Like Ludviek's mane, your hair and your mutton chops have been braided magnificently, but also your hair has been died. Somehow, the gray streaks in your head of hair have been turned a bright and vibrant shade of red, and you have just a full face full of makeup. So that, like, honestly, if someone could only see your face, they might mistake you for a dwarf woman.
Okay. At least that's skillfully done. I've had worse.
He said skillfully done.
I've had several swear words just written all over my skin, but at least this
I can go out in public. I can go out in public with this without feeling annoyed about it.
Yeah.
It's like whoever did this, they were making a work of art. I was the unconsenting canvas, but it's art. It's good enough. I can deal with it.
Yeah. I'll leave it on for now.
Awesome. All right. So with that, I guess eventually, like, do you guys meet anywhere in this building? At any point,
probably for the morning, like in this lounge area, I'd imagine. Yeah.
There are several lounges and little studies around the place. You find like one, and eventually all start to convene. I imagine Ludviek will be last because he's the one vigorously trying to clean himself off
and uncurl his beard.
Yeah,
and everything else.
Yeah, so you're gonna be busy for a bit. The rest of you, though, you eventually convene.
Hello there, Tuki. Good morning. Good morning. You sleep well?
Particularly, but that's not new.
Oh, right. Had a lot of fun. You look very pretty.
Thank you. I've never done anything like that before.
Oh,
In
honey.
any aspect.
In any aspect, like you've never done makeup before or anything like that.
Nope.
Oh, well. Don't worry there, darling. We're gonna get that all right.
What does that even mean?
I don't fucking know. But you know what? Tuki looks very pretty, and we're gonna keep it that way.
Okay. All right. So.
Now, where the fuck is Kari?
Good question. Are you here, Kari?
Yes.
Okay.
As if on cue, like it was a sitcom.
You son of a bitch!
What?
You weren't in your room, your quarters last night, when I went to go visit you.
Yes, I had business to attend to.
I had business to attend to too. So did Tuki. You ruined Tuki's night. How'd you feel? Tuki's first ever girls' night, and you're just like, you should have been sleeping in your bed. Completely oblivious to what was happening around you.
Kari's look of confusion almost seems to be some form of relief for just a split second. Because he's like, what do you mean I ruined Tuki? What?
Listen, Tuki was crying about it all night long. Was so devastated.
Not to call you a liar, but
You calling me a liar? Kari.
Tuki does not seem the type to.
Tuki was very emotional last night. Oh, right? And her and I had to console during girls' night with getting our nails. Look at our nails. Look at them. You could have gotten them done. You didn't, you bastard.
As if on cue,
I have professionals that I go to when I want my nails done like that.
Boron! Look at that. She's gonna dress to Boron. Boron, you look so pretty this morning.
Why, thank you.
Just rolling with it.
You. Huh.
See?
That's
Sorry,
not bad.
you could have. Yeah, see, Kari, you could have gotten that done, but no, you wouldn't let Tuki do it to you at all.
Well, Tuki, I did not realize that you were so into hang on, what's before?
Cosmetics?
I did not realize that you were a cosmetologist.
Neither did I guess.
This seems to be a natural talent.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
I love that Tuki is kind of low-key being bullied right now.
Like being defended by Minnove so hard that she's like bullying her into this.
Like, Minnove's not even letting Tuki speak. It's just like, she was sad. What? Wait, no, I wasn't. She was fucking crying.
Absolutely devastated.
No, Tuki, if I caused any negative impact on your emotional state, I believe that I will owe you reparations. Though there's a feeling in my gut that tells me such a thing does not have to happen.
No, it's quite alright.
Oh, alright. No, no, it doesn't. Now,
Minnove's
Who's
gonna be
hungry?
sitting down drinking her tea.
I've been
cup of
drawn
tea.
on before by several people, but this is the most skillfully done.
Well, thank you there, Boron. That's quite the compliment.
But please don't do it.
Oh, but oh. But what if Tuki does it? You can't be
Of
mad
her
at
own
Tuki.
free will. And I look at Tuki. Of your own free will.
Okay.
He's letting you do it one time for your own free will. You gotta do it for your own. You gotta.
That he just asked us not to.
He gave you the okay. He told me no.
Yeah.
Either way, Boron, you look quite pretty and quite gorgeous. I didn't know, like, honestly, while doing it, I didn't notice how well your face just contoured.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you should really consider doing drag professionally. Maybe after all this merc business you got going on, you can like retire and be like a drag or something.
I'll take it into consideration.
Please, I know, I can hook you up.
As a
Right.
sentence.
Anyways, did anyone see Ludviek this morning?
Now that you mention it, no.
Can I roll perception to see if Kari heard him desperately trying to clean himself off?
Sure, roll it.
Okay. I forgot to open my sheet, and I almost opened the sheet of the shroom addled. That would have been funny.
It would have been.
Alright.
Perception 8? No.
Alright. No, I don't know where he is.
Well, I'm pretty sure he can't be that far away. He's in the same building after all. So,
Usually not
well, we
one to sleep that long.
no. Something tells me he's a little tied up. Anyways,
You made it sound like
Did
you
you go
left
back
him in
there?
bondage.
Oh.
What did you say, Tuki?
Did you go back in there?
No, I did not go back in there. I did not. I would have, but I didn't, because I liked my beauty rest. Believe it or not, Tuki, it takes a lot to keep this physique.
I Well, that would explain a lot on my behalf.
Hey, you might be questioning your physique.
But either or. What is everybody's plans for today? Since today's kind of, I guess, a free day, doing sort of things.
Yeah, I will say, just for purposes, you all have a few days of downtime, so.
I don't know.
Well, that's exciting.
I'm gonna have a talk with the local smith, get my gear in order.
Interesting.
Suppose
Anybody would like to their weapons or armor brought up to shape, I can probably do that as well.
That's very generous of you there, Bone. Tuki, what were you saying there?
I was going to see if Gottfried would help me get a pass into the school.
Right, we need to get you that. I'm sure he can. No biggie. And if not, I can get you into the school, no problem.
Really?
Oh, 100%. Look at this face. It's adorable.
It really is.
Yeah. her very clear, like, strong, like, yeah, took Minnove completely off, like, track. Either or, we'll get you into the school, and then after, you can do the spa day I promised you. If you'd like.
Oh, that's always sounded very nice.
Well, there you go. Kari, would you like to come? Since you don't have any, I guess, business elsewhere. Or do you, and you're just lying to us? Kari? Are you looking into space? Hello?
We've lost him.
Well, he's dead. He's doing one of those. He's doing one of those, like, looking into the far space, into the world, trying to think. Either or. I guess we can wait for Ludviek and then be on our way. I know Ludviek needed to go to the capital was gonna deliver the news of Kanala's rest.
I mean, he already kind of did that. He delivered that to Gottfried.
Oh, right. But I don't know what Ludviek's gonna do today. Ludviek can do whatever he wants. Ludviek might actually get hit on today. Oh my god, we can watch No, we can't.
We can't watch Ludviek doing that. That's rude. Privacy. We've already snuck into his room and painted his face once. We should give him some measure of his own space.
No, I was more or less going on about how, like, we should follow Ludviek for the day.
That sounds rude. Speaking of Ludviek, would he like to make his entrance to the room now?
Actually, yes. In about 60 seconds.
One.
Finish writing down these steps. But yes.
You know, my favorite part about dreaming is the REM sleep that you get.
What?
The REM sleep.
I don't dream of sheeps.
Well, what do you dream of?
Hard to remember.
Fair.
And this is when Ludviek then heads in, and he hears that term, and he's like, "Who is the Rem?"
Ludviek! Oh, your mane. It's very, curly.
He eyes her with that phrasing.
She has the biggest shit-eating grin.
What's that perception for?
I want to have him look to see if he notices anything off about her, but I think that shit-eating grin is something you get with a 5.
I mean, perception wouldn't be the roll anyway. It would be insight, but...
Oh, insight. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then I'll do insight then.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Oh yeah, no. You look towards Minnove, and you see that she has this massive shit-eating grin, and in the back, and like a little ways back, sort of shifting weight back and forth. You see Tuki just looking just slightly more uncomfortable than normal. Kind of like a dog who is good at hiding the fact that they feel guilty about tearing up the house, but not so good that they hide it completely.
Those dog videos of, did you do this? And they just look down.
Or they just like start putting on this really big grin and wagging their tail a bunch. But, you know, like a very subdued version of that because Tuki is trying to hide it, I imagine.
Yes. He looks at Tuki, realizes, and he looks to Minnove, and he just says, "You had something to do with these supplies this morning, did you not?"
Me? You're looking at me? Me? Really?
He just glares down at her.
Oh yeah, 100%. It was fully my idea.
Well then, what do you have to say for yourself?
I did a pretty damn good job.
Not exactly what I was looking to hear.
Oh,
Well, kind of accurate.
please.
Though kind of accurate when it comes to the mustache part. However, the rest was very much a great trial against me. I will
Are you
take a
allergic to
deep
blush
dive
or something?
today. I am allergic to people causing havoc with my mane. You should not
Please,
be
you don't
doing
do
it.
anything with your mane. Like, look at
Exactly,
all
it is
that.
gorgeous as it is.
Look at all that hair. You could do so. If I had that luxurious, Ludviek, if I had that mane, it would be the over for you. Absolutely.
And now I'm wondering what you would look like with hair. That is quite a disturbing thought.
Yeah.
Maned kobolds, what would the world be coming to?
It's like Gale Rython.
Yes.
Oh, that's
or
just a
feathered
lodge.
dwarves.
You know, I
Or
feel like this
dragons
is
that are
oddly-
noodles. Crazy
Yeah.
ideas.
Somewhere in a completely different campaign universe, Tiermouth lifts his head. What?
Yeah.
Scampers up. No one is gonna fucking get that joke. Unless
Just the
they
one
do,
viewer.
in which case, sound off in the comments below. Tell me, where's that joke from? Anyway.
Well, either way, you look
Either
very
way.
pretty, and I did a really good job. At least you're able to get it out, and look at that volume. Absolute luxurious. Honestly, you
You
could probably
cannot
hide
escape
shit
your
in there.
crimes forever, young kobold.
Oh,
One
I'm
day,
not
your
I'm not-
mischievous behavior will catch up with you. But for now,
Listen,
you are getting a slide. Because this is a very good mustache. That is all.
I figured Ludviek would take it and would be more impressed, like...
He does not like being touched at night. Come on, you're sneaking up on a hunter. What do you expect?
Take that sentence out of
To be
context.
pretty bad hunter if I could easily just braid your fucking mane.
I mean, fucking fair. Anyway,
It's
Yep.
it's hard to compete with what I rolled.
indeed.
Yeah.
All right. And right, okay. Real quick, Impulsive, where are you? What happened to you? Are you still here, or did you disappear? What? We haven't heard from you in a bit.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, the 4th of July boogeyman got him.
Okay, he is dead.
Either way, I say we continue on with our day. Ludviek, what are you doing today? Boron's going to see the blacksmith. Tuki and I are gonna go to the school. What about you?
That is a very good question indeed. I would say, well, did not see too much reason to go to a blacksmith at this moment. Most of my gear is quite well at this point. So I think I will actually join you going to the school. There are things I need to be looking up as well. Plus, who knows, might find something of interest.
Good. Absolutely.
All right, 1 second. All right, so with that in mind then, without any idea what the hell Kari is doing because we've lost Impulsive, it seems. So the plan, as I understand it, is Boron is going to hit a blacksmith, while Tuki, Minnove, and Ludviek will head to the university, after which Minnove will take Tuki to the spa. Is this the plan?
Yes.
All right.
More or less.
All right, let's do Boron first, because that sounds like it'll take the least amount of time, because you're basically just going to the shops, and that doesn't necessarily take super long.
Minnove will give Boron her rapier.
All right.
Clean it up a little bit. And yeah. Well, she's really got that. Unless leather armor, but that's about it.
All right, so.
Well, basically the idea was that Boron is trying to offer to help the blacksmith in exchange for being able to just upkeep his weapon and armor during the day. Nothing special. I'm not gonna hit the stores or anything.
So basically just,
just
filling your
maintaining.
time with some stuff. Gotcha. So that Boron's not just sitting around with a thumb up his ass. Understood. All right, well then. In that case, Boron, you head on out to take care of that.
Here's the question. Does Boron still have his full face of makeup on?
If nobody reminds him, yes.
You will be going out into the still rainy weather with that.
Oh, yeah. Well,
His makeup will start running.
he probably will remember it along the way. And oh damn, didn't I take this off? And return and take it off and go out again.
All right, so I'm not going to necessitate any rolls for you on that. If you want to go into the actual roleplay of it, by all means. Otherwise,
No, it's okay.
all right. Then we'll go ahead and just cut over to Minnove, Tuki, and Ludviek heading for the Central University. So, making your way out into the city streets of Asmara once again, this time sort of setting out in the bright hours of the morning. While it is gray and somewhat drizzly, it's not too bad right now, and there's the hubbub of activity out on the streets, making the whole city feel alive, the chatter of people all over the place, people going about their business. Where you are right now in the city is very much the upper district, so the chatter is more of a subdued, sort of muffled, gray noise, partially buried under the white noise of the falling rain, but you can still hear it, and occasionally you might hear the distant from the docks down on the shores of Lake Bafloril, or the occasional loud but muffled, indistinct voice of someone peddling a particularly grandiose ware down in the markets, separated from you by a wall and several layers of streets. That sort of thing.
Why does it sound like Kevin?
The fuck is Kevin?
From South Park.
I don't watch South Park. I was trying to emulate like just the sound of a voice that you can't make out the words of because it's far away. Anyway, so yeah.
I have city secrets, so would I be able to like help us get through the city.
Let's hear. You know the secret patterns and flow to cities and confined passages through the urban sprawl that others would miss. When you are not in combat, you and companions you lead can travel between any 2 locations in the city twice as fast as your speed would normally allow. I mean, sure, you're not in any rush and there aren't any hazards right now. But sure, if you wanted to, you've been in this city at least once before. Exactly once before, actually. So you have a decent idea of the layout. Ludviek's been here before, so he has a decent idea. So the 2 of you kind of lead Tuki. Eventually, you come to this sort of a walled sort of space at the sort of not terribly far from the base of the great spire at the center of the city. This sort of walled-in campus. Several fairly tall structures decorating its grounds. You don't see anyone out there right now. Seems at present that everyone's just indoors, probably attending whatever might be the task of the day. You do, however, see, interestingly, you see sort of in front of these sort of reinforced wrought iron barred gates that sort of mark the clear distinction between the campus grounds and the rest of the city proper outside of it. On either side of that gate, you see these standing tall figures dressed in a sort of half-plate armor accented with blue cloths and these sort of tall pointed helmets that completely obscure their faces, leaving only like a narrow, sharply angled visor through which they can see. You can see like the sort of the emblem of Valrive emblazoned on the front of their tabards. These sort of needle-thin swords strapped at their sides, and you see... Well, you don't see anything else necessarily, but Ludviek and Minnove, you both would know this. These are Valrivi Mage Knights. I have just lost internet. Great.
Right?
I lost internet.
Uh-oh.
What is the last thing you all heard from me?
These are
Val. You recognize these are Val.
Rivi Mage Knights. Valrivi Mage Knights.
Ah.
Okay.
So, and I'm seeing in the chat that is Impulsive back?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yay. Okay. So, you would be going with them then on this. So, so the Kraven won't necessarily know about the Mage Knights, but Minnove and Ludviek, you are at least aware of them, though as to the extent, I mean, you could make history checks to see how much you two know about the Mage Knights.
History.
All right. Ludviek, you know that they are basically just law enforcement with a focus on magic, but you've never really had much of an occasion to deal with them, so you don't necessarily know much. Kari, same as you. They seem just a little bit beneath your pay grade to care about. Minnove, you know a little more. Not necessarily a lot. The Valrivi Mage Knights are an elite sort of organization within the sort of militaristic hierarchy of Valrive. In times of peace, or when not deployed to an active battlefront, the Mage Knights typically function as a specialized task force for dealing with rogue mages or practitioners of outlawed magical things, like flesh enchantment. They are trained in... You don't know the specifics, but you would imagine that they are well trained in countering individuals who use magic. And are, at the very least, to some extent capable of magic themselves. So they're Eldritch Knights as far as their class is concerned, essentially.
Well, don't be flaunting any wild shit around them.
All right.
Got it?
So who is taking the lead?
I think Minnove is in this
Minnove.
case.
Yeah, Minnove can.
All right. All right. So Minnove, you sort of puff up your chest a little bit to make yourself look just a little bit taller, and take the lead, marching up toward the towards the two Mage Knights. The one that
So
yes.
she's gonna lean over to Tuki and be like, Who's the girl you're trying to find?
Her name is Lucia. Let me pull
Lucia?
my notes to get the last name.
All right.
You do have a note from Gottfried, I will say. You remembered to get that before you left.
Okay.
Because Tuki wouldn't have forgotten that, being a Kraven. You have that perfect memory thing going. That I can only imagine will eventually become a nightmare for me to DM for.
2 Kravens. 2 the problem. Minnow's gonna walk up to...
Lucia Fournier.
Lucia Fournier? Okay.
Fournier.
Fournier. I'm gonna copy paste it. So that...
Something like that.
Okay, cool. All right. Minnove's gonna puff up her chest, kind of like make herself look bigger, but also kind of cuter, the best she could.
Okay. Interesting
Which
combination.
is not really anything. She just looks like she's walking up to them.
I mean, if you're trying to make yourself look cuter, make for me, I guess, a persuasion check?
Persuasion? Oh, we got this.
Oh.
You remember the eyes. You remember a thing that you were told long ago by Robert. A big part of what makes things cute is the size of the eyes relative to the rest of the head. There's a certain, zone. That's a big part of why babies are so cute, you know? Their eyes are bigger. So they're bigger, they're shiny, they got this kind of dumb, vacant look. It's just like, you just kind of feel like, oh, sweet, dumb little baby, I must protect you, that kind of thing.
Sweet, dumb little baby to Minnove. At a full-grown kobold woman. Sweet, dumb little baby.
If you can weaponize that sensation, you'd be surprised how much shit you can get.
Minnove's gonna walk up to them with these big ol' eyes and be like, hello. You all are the mage, right?
The mage knight that you approach sort of looks down at you. You cannot see their face through their faceplate. Sort of a masculine voice comes through after a moment. What is your business at the Central University?
Oh, well, we're looking for someone named Lucia Foreigner. Just to pronounce it properly. We have a letter from Godfrey here recommending us, giving us guidance to it.
So you pass that note forward. The mage knight sort of takes it, utters a brief incantation under his breath. Manukara Sulavalith. And you see like this little sort of like half dome of like silvery light sort of appear over his head that blocks the rain so that he can read the note without it getting drenched in the rain. Scours the page for a minute. Looks at the seal on it. Very well. This all appears to be in order. Folds it back up, hands it to you. You will be permitted entrance onto the campus grounds. You will leave your weapons here.
Absolutely, no problem. Everybody drop your weapons. Give them to the sweet old mage knight.
Weapons and ringstones, I should amend.
Okay.
They will be returned to you upon your departure. It is a security measure for the safety of our students. I'm sure you understand.
Yes.
Yes, just not used to being without my things, that's all.
Okay, so, alright.
Don't worry, you don't need your things. You got these strong gentlemen right here to protect you. It's perfectly fine.
All right, so
Ludviek would ask the man, does it also go for men of the cloth?
he looks you up and down for a moment. Make a persuasion check for me.
Yes. Mostly he's just trying to keep just the ringstone.
12. The mage knight shakes his head. I'm afraid not.
Understandable. Yeah,
I'm realizing how many weapons Tuki has on her.
You have one rapier, 2 rapier, 3,
Tuki is
I
just, like,
think.
taking off her opening her jacket. All of a sudden, like everything just falls down. And just, clink, 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 like metal pipes hitting the ground.
2 rapiers, 2 daggers, a quarterstaff, a bow, a vial of acid.
My God, girl, she loaded. Minnove will give over her things, but she'll be like, "Can you keep these very safe? The ringstone is very, very important
In general,
to me."
that's Tuki right now.
Yeah. The Mage Knight nods. Your things will not be damaged. They will be returned to you upon your departure.
Thank you.
A
All right, Tuki, let's go.
A few basic rules before I open the gate for you.
Mm-hmm.
If you find yourself approaching a classroom and you see that it is in session, you do not enter. These students are learning valuable information. They need to not be disturbed. If you are informed by a guard that you are in a restricted area or find a door that is being watched, you are not to attempt to pass through or disturb the guards on duty.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are asked to leave, you leave.
Quickly.
Glad we understand each other.
Absolutely.
Then he turns, utters another incantation, and you hear a sort of like just something sliding open in the gate, and it swings open. Keep your voices down and remain polite.
Absolutely. She's gonna kind of go down to a little whisper. Thank you, kind gentlemen. You all have a lovely day. Come on.
All right, so as your group passes through the gate and onto the campus grounds properly, who among you has the highest passive perception?
I think possibly me, 15?
I also have 15.
I have 14.
All right. Then Kari and Ludviek, you two will note that the other Mage Knight who hadn't been speaking to you, the other guard, the one who was quiet, keeps his eye on your group a lot longer than his friend until the gate closes on its own behind you and sort of cuts line of sight. You get the impression that you're not necessarily fully trusted. All right.
So, let's find where this Lucia is.
I seem to have missed something. Aren't we going on a spa day?
Well, so we're gonna go see Tuki's friend's child. Visit her, say hi, hello, and then we're gonna go on our spa day. Ludviek, if you want to come, you're more than welcome to. Get pampered and all that.
Well, it is tempting. I have already experienced your administrative hands of tampering today.
Oh, trust me, darling, you've not experienced my hands of tampering.
Well, either way, there are many things I would like to look in here as well. Maybe not entirely in this section, but there is plenty of space and plenty of books.
Well, I highly doubt they will let us split for too long.
Yes, likely.
Should we just divide?
Oh, no, I shall stick with you for now.
All right.
Alright.
So then, with that in mind, you sort of follow some directions that Godfried gave you and make your way sort of deeper into the campus complex. And it is an impressive structure. Following on from that main gate, there's this wide sort of smooth brickwork path that leads to this sort of central plaza with a big fountain with these abstract sort of statues sort of carved up around it. Very pretty. Kind of makes you need to pee, but it's fine. Sort of following that path directly back, you see this sort of much larger sort of grand structure that you imagine is probably home to many of the primary lecture halls and presumably teacher offices. The path also ventures off to the left and right, where you see off to the right what you imagine to probably be the dormitories, just based on the window patterns. And off to the left, maybe more specific, like labs or practice fields and grounds, sort of gated off behind another protective wall. The pathways are lined by well-trimmed trees, and you even see sort of just drifting along these... They're basically just floating rocks that are emitting the glow of Luma, that are basically mobile lamps, just following preset paths, I'd say about 8 feet up from the ground, and just following along the brickwork paths. No idea how they enchanted them to do that, but evidently they did.
Quite pretty, honestly.
I wonder if they serve more of a purpose than just lighting. Very curious indeed.
You must.
Well,
one can make an Arcana check to see if they can make a deduction. They do have the runes visible on them.
no.
Oh, all right. Ludviek, with that natural 20, I'll say you actually sort of clock it after a second of looking. Looking at these and sort of examining the runes from a distance, you start to realize that these serve more than just the purpose of light. They are also capable of emitting loud sound if certain conditions are met. It's not just illumination, it's an alarm. You're not exactly sure what would trigger them to start going off, but they absolutely could and would if certain things happen.
I pass this line to theirs by saying, at least if I'm seeing this right, this is no ordinary light. It could also be something that could make great sound, like shouting alarm if even. Perhaps if someone is trespassing, or maybe to signal classes ended. Could have many uses.
Good to know. Huh. Either way, not our problem, not our worry.
So, you are making your way for the... Brain, work with me here. To the dorms, I take it.
Yes.
All right. So, making your way there, sort of, I imagine Tuki taking the lead at this point, because you're the one spearheading this part of the operation.
Alright.
You step into the dorm building, and there's this, like, sort of a cozy sort of front foyer space. Very nice blue carpet, gold trim, the occasional statue lining the walls of what appear to be mage knights or just mages in general. Some elaborate paintings sort of stacked up against the back wall. Directly in front of you, there's this very nicely polished wooden desk. You see a sort of a... kind of gives you like not all their aunt vibes of this human woman with sort of a pair of reading glasses perched on the tip of her nose. She's got her hair done up in a bun, very silver, very wrinkly woman. She kind of is just reading a book and lifts her eyes as you all walk in. Oh, I don't believe I've met any of you before. Visitors, I take it?
Yes.
Well, what can I do for you?
Would you happen to know what room or what class Lucia Fournier would be in?
Lucia Fournier? One moment. She pulls open a drawer and pulls out just this giant fucking leather-bound book.
God.
Like, it starts flipping through pages. Let's see, Lucia. She is a student, I presume.
Big, that book's huge.
Well, it's supposed to be huge, dear. This book contains the names of every student in the campus's history, at least for the last decade. This is not the only one. There's like a trap door somewhere around here. If you go down there, there's like an entire room just full of these manifests and records of each student, the classes they took, their schedules. It's very useful for bookkeeping. Pain in the tuchus to get anywhere, though. Lucia. Ah, here she is. Lucia Fournier is not presently in class. This is one of her break periods.
So she might be anywhere.
Happen to know where she hangs out, or?
Well, if it wasn't raining, she'd probably be running on the roofs, but since it is raining and she got yelled at last time she ran out in the rain, I imagine she's probably in her room.
Which would be...
That would be... And she sort of points off to your left. Go up those stairs, 3rd floor. It'll be room C22.
C22, I see 22. Okay.
Do remember, if you see a sock on the handle, don't knock.
Oh, I know a lot about the sock handle rule. Don't you worry there.
I don't. What is that?
Tuki, yes, it just means, do not disturb.
All right.
Yeah, do not disturb. It's a fancy sign. Whenever people don't want to write a sign, they put a sock on the door. I'll tell you.
Kari's gonna shoot Minnove a look.
I'll tell you more.
But not say anything.
I'll tell you more when we're back at the Godfrey residence, alright?
Alright.
This is a conversation that I don't believe should be on school grounds or in public. Entirely. Don't worry about it. Look how
just dragging her along while yelling, "Don't worry about it! Don't worry about it. I suddenly turned an Italian stereotype." I'm sorry. Sorry.
See, what was it? C24?
Yes.
All right, C24, let's go.
Missed opportunity to give her room C4, but too late.
This is actually where Ludviek will say, "It seems you have found who you are looking for. I believe this is where we will part for now. I will see you back at, well, I believe we're going to be... And a good spot would be, I guess, O'Donnell's house, then?
Aye.
I'll see you then later."
All right.
Then briefly he would just ask the old lady is like, his goal is, if someone were in the realm of looking up for medicine, which section of the academy would you say would be best to start looking at? Or perhaps chance a instructor of some kind?
Well, if you're looking into matters of medicine and several fields, you could probably find at least basic tomes on near any form of medicine that isn't prohibited in the academy library. It's in the main building, directly across from the gate you would have had to come through to get in here.
Well then, it sounds like that is where I will have to start my look. Thank you very much, madam. And I guess he'd be heading that direction, heading back out the gate and whatnot. But
Right.
yeah, so he's disconnected from this conversation now.
All right, we'll come up with you in a little while. For now, I guess Kari, Minnove, and Tuki head up to the 3rd floor. Thighs are burning by the time you're reaching the top, but it's okay. Minnove probably not so much because she can just go on all fours, and it's natural for her to do that.
Minnove's also got thick thighs.
You do have those, yes. You have very wide egg-laying hips. It's great. Jesus Christ, I am not a good person. So,
There it is. Get on it.
yeah. All right, so moving on. You eventually sort of make your way down this long corridor, it's like off to your right, it's mostly just windows, but to your left, it's doors. And eventually you find door C24.
Well?
No sock.
There's no... Okay. First, that was my first question, if there was a sock or not. We're good. We're good to... You can knock. Go on.
Alright.
A nice firm, like...
Well,
Go on.
Well, I've injured my hands enough to where firm's a little dangerous, but,
Right,
she'll knock.
All right. You give a quick little knock. Just a moment. You're shuffling around. Then the door pops open, and you see a fairly young human woman, like early 20s at the most, like, barely in her 20s. She's kind of got her hair sort of pulled back, darker hair. Kind of got freckles all over her face, has kind of a paler complexion. You are not necessarily sure what you're expecting in terms of the attire of mages, but for Lucia Fournier to open up the door and basically be wearing the equivalent of a tank top is not what you were expecting. I'm not sure what you would call the medieval equivalent of a tank top, but it's that same sort of vibe where, like sleeves are bullshit. She doesn't have sleeves. So kind of pops the door open. I guess. I don't know if they had the word tank top in medieval times, though, because they didn't have tanks yet.
Top.
They did have tanks.
Anyway.
Tanks are named after water tanks.
Okay, but you know what I mean. I don't think
Either
they
way,
had
the
a word
logistics. Logistics.
1 second, I am chewing an apple.
Very curious.
So, Lucia blinks a couple times, sort of surveys your group. Huh. Can I help you?
Hello. I know you don't know me, but I recently met your family in Idonir.
Oh, shit, really?
Yes. I don't know if you were aware of any of the bad situation that was happening at the time.
Bad situation?
Financial troubles for the city, just because of the substitute landlord.
Substitute landlord?
I suppose I am not fully aware of complete details, but
I haven't been in Idonir in damn near a year, so I've missed basically everything that's happened in that time.
That would make sense. Well, I just wanted to let you
Well, is everything all right? Are my folks all right? Is Patrick all right? Did he break his hand again?
No, in fact, he fixed mine. She'll hold up the bandaged wrist.
Oh, sweet. He got to put it into practice.
No, everything is fine. It's not a problem anymore. So I just didn't know if you knew, and if you did, I wanted to let you know it was cleared. And sorry if I made you worry by not speaking faster.
I feel like you speaking too quickly is actually kind of the problem right now. Because
yes,
you're dumb. Because, like, no disrespect to you, I don't know you, and you randomly just showed up and started info dumping all over me about my hometown, and I don't even know your name. But I'm guessing you know mine.
I do.
Right, see, you got me at a disadvantage. Turnabout's fair play. What's your name, sweetheart?
I'm Tuki Fletcher. I'm sorry. I'm not used to this, and I honestly did not thoroughly think this all the way through.
Yeah, I'm getting that impression. She has this kind of good-natured smile on her face. You get the impression she's not too annoyed. She kind of looks past you at the other two. And your friends, are they in Idonir too?
Not as far as I know. I met them on the way here. This is Minnove, Ringdancer, and Kari, Canu, Taradadila.
Ta-da-da-dial?
It doesn't really work with my accent.
Ta-da-da-da-da-da. Bye!
Kari Canu Travodiadal.
Ta-da-da-dial.
Oh my god. Kari, why did you get such a complicated last name?
Tra-ba-da-bop-bop-bop-ba-da-bop-bop. Anyway.
There really isn't a reason why you can't say it, Tuki. You realize that the voice that we have is just an act that we put on for others, right?
Yes. Where?
Right. Well, I feel like if you're gonna show up, tell me you'd met my family and that there was trouble back in Idenia, I feel like you, miss, need to spend a little bit more than 5 minutes giving me the rundown.
All right. Well.
Do you want to come in? It's really awkward talking to you and your friends through my door.
That would be wonderful. Thank you.
All right. Sort of brings you in, and it's sparsely decorated. You see sort of on the nightstand next to the bed, there's a jar that's full of rocks. There's definitely the sort of aura of organized chaos where everything has a place, but it's a mess if you don't know where that place is. There's stuff kind of strewn all over the place. The bed's not fully made. See the ring
keeps her
stone
tail to herself.
Yeah. Right, sorry for the mess. Wasn't expecting company. As it so happens, you don't get very many people knocking on your door when you're when you're just from out in the boondocks and don't have a lick of noble blood to your name. So I don't generally have to clean up.
I'm really sorry. Like I said, I probably should have thought this through a little better.
Word of advice. Next time, maybe write ahead first. Then I know to expect you.
All right.
Now, Mom and Dad.
They are doing great. I guess the full story that I know is that I came from Barbara. Idenia was my first stop in Valreef.
Way over here.
I was just going to stop in the bakery for some lunch and happened to run into Tobias, your landlord's son.
Ugh.
That was my first impression. He's the reason my wrist was dislocated.
And Lucille, just start, she hops up onto her bed and just sits cross-legged on it and just starts rubbing the side of her head. Oh, what did he do?
He was trying to exit at the same time I was trying to enter, and he shoved me and I slipped. It landed funny.
That fucking man. No, not a man, that fucking prick.
Well, your mom made me come inside, and your brother patched me up. Insisted I stay for dinner.
Yeah, it sounds like them. Dad's soup. Stuff of legends.
It really was. The normal landlord is out on business, and so Tobias was in charge. And he was overextending on his tax charges.
Did he burn the whole town down?
Close to bled it dry. I took it upon myself to figure out where the money was going. Exposed it. Oh, your mother might have a bit of a bend in her nose now. There was a confrontation. He did punch her in the face.
You see Lucia, like, sort of close her eyes, mouth hanging up, and just kind of lift up her hands like she's trying to find words for a second.
If it makes it any better, I took his sword and threatened him with it.
Did you cram it up his ass?
And no, but he did cry and run away.
Well, I mean, I'm not sure I'll be able to hold myself back if I ever see that little shit again, if he broke Mom's nose, but...
That's all I've got. They allowed me to use your room for the night. I ended up actually managing to stay too. And I guess I just wanted to meet you because the level of kindness your family showed me, I've never experienced before, so it was just an idea I got in my head. I am so sorry.
No, don't go apologizing now. Honestly, it was very nice of you to think to come and give me a heads up on how my family's been. It's not the easiest thing to get letters that far out there when I'm all the way over here. I mean, for one thing, that's under completely different, Cadam's jurisdiction, and it's way out in the boondocks, and it's on the border with Povera, and, I mean, if you were in Iden, I'm sure you know how fucked up that area is. So getting letters to and from, big pain in the ass, so I wasn't even entirely sure what was going on over there.
So that's the extent of what I know. He did start putting things back the way they were supposed to be.
Good.
That's really all I have. That's the whole story.
Got a question for you.
Yes?
How is it that you were able to expose what he was spending all the money on?
I found what he was purchasing. The paperwork for it.
She kind of, stares at you for a few seconds.
Tuki is going to fold in on herself and stare at the floor.
Did you break into his house?
Maybe.
I like you. This kind of puts on a big grin. Don't go getting the wrong idea now. I ain't judging you for that. Not at all. It'd be rather hypocritical of me if I judged you for that.
I just wanted to help.
Well, I mean, if you made that little shithead, like, cry in public and go running back home to Daddy, I'd say you did good. Like, you were only in that town for a couple of days. I had to live there first 19 years of my life.
Besides him, I thought it was pretty nice.
Yeah, it's a lovely town. But then the landlord had a kid. And Lucia just like leans back and her head just sort of thunk against the wall. That man is unfucking believably full of himself.
Yes, a large chunk of what he was raising taxes for was to pay for a gold-plated rapier.
Oh my god.
I would show you the one I took from him, but I had to leave it at the gate.
Oh shit, you took his rapier from him?
Well, he didn't really give me a chance to hand it back.
Goodness gravy. I feel like you're still very much giving me the abridged version of events here.
I'm not trying to. These two are much better storytellers than I am.
Oh no, I'm enjoying what I'm hearing.
Well. She sort of glances towards the door. You sort of follow her line of sight for a second, and you see that, like, on, like, a desk next to the door, she has, like, an hourglass set up, and, like, it's almost run out of sand, like it's about to trickle through. And she's like, well, as it is, I would actually really like to keep talking, but classes are about to start soon, and my break's about over, so... Tell you what, where are you staying?
I am currently staying at the Halkis estate.
How the hell are you doing that?
I helped bring home Donald Halkis.
Huh. Well, shit, alright, you're just full of surprises, aren't you?
He's apparently a cosmetologist, too.
I guess so.
Minnove's gonna, like, just kind of smile. Oh, yeah.
Huh.
Absolute legend.
Well, tell you what. If you're still around when I get a free window of time, maybe I'll swing by, we can have a little chat, go into more detail. For now, sort of stands up, pats herself down a little bit. For now, I gotta be getting a move on, but hey, thanks for giving me an update on my town, eh? I don't get to talk to them nearly often enough.
My pleasure. If you would like to write a letter, I hope to return there one day.
I mean, unless you're heading back straight away, I feel like it might be a bit more convenient to just send it with a courier.
Most likely, honestly. But I had to offer.
Well, I appreciate it. Right, not to be rude, but I need to get into my proper outfit, so, skedaddle, please.
Right. Yes.
Pleasure to meet you, and
Oh,
thank
yeah,
you for
no,
meeting
likewise.
Minnove will lead the way and kind of, like, skirt right out of the door, holding her tail very close to her, worried that she's gonna, like, knock something over if she, like, moves too quickly.
As you're all sort of piling out, Lucia kind of takes up a spot in the door, points at you, Tuki, and's like, quick question, one more thing. Do you make a habit of running?
Yes?
She sort of slaps the frame of her door. Cool, we have a hobby in common. Chat with you another time. Leans back.
Got a running buddy?
Maybe? I don't know.
Kari, why don't you ever go running with Tuki?
Are you making the assumption that just because we're both Kraven that we should be best friends?
Well, fair, I guess. I'm not trying to make the assumption. I'm just more or less, you know.
Though I will say I do enjoy your company.
Thank you.
See? Besties.
You're not poor company yourself, Tuki. Though the racism from this one might have put her down a tier.
What? Okay, hold on there, you like. And then she realizes she's speaking a little loud, and she goes, "You Enough. I'm going back down. Let's go find Ludviek. We're going spa day. Wait, spa day. Shut the fuck up." Listen, if I could talk to a kobold all day, I would. All right? At least you guys get each other.
Kari's gonna make like a weird face and look at Tuki and say, "Is she trying to hook us up?"
I apologize, but that would not be very successful.
No,
No,
no
I'm
offense.
not trying
I'm
to.
not looking for that right now. No.
No, I'm not trying to hook anyone up. I'm not trying to play matchmake. It's nice to talk to somebody that knows you more, or I guess understands you on a more
Instinctual.
Are you making the assumption that just because we're both We're
gonna put a pin in this conversation right now, Kari.
Is this Kari getting payback?
But Kari, we're gonna put a pin in this conversation. See this conversation? See this conversation? Oh, hang in there. We'll talk about it later.
I don't know how much there is to talk about.
All right. So, with that bickering continuing, as you all make your way down the hall, we will go ahead and cut away to Ludviek. So, Ludviek. Following the directions that were given to you by the nice lady behind the counter, you make your way into the central, primary sort of a lecture hall building. It doesn't necessarily take you very long, asking around a bit from a couple of individuals sort of going through the hall's directions to the library, archives, what have you. Stepping into that larger space, you are greeted to what is probably one of the few, actually wooden-ish areas. The floor is still very much, carpeted, but the bookcases themselves are made of towering stacks of wood, each one, of course, filled to the breaking point with books. There are these warm-colored chandeliers sort of hanging gently from the ceiling. It's a multi-leveled library, too, with the sort of open space and then the sort of just wrap-around balconies, and you can see a handful of students on each level, poring over books at their various seated tables. If you hear any bangs in the background, it's because at time of recording, it's 4th of July, and it's starting to get dark outside, so fireworks are going to start happening soon. But
They've
been going on the entire time for me.
Yeah, well, it's only just starting to get dark where I live, so. But yeah, so.
All right.
It is an impressive collection, to be sure. Very sizable. As you kind of look around for a second, Ludviek, you find yourself being approached by a middle-aged human gentleman, kind of on big bald spot on the top of his head, as he approaches. Yes, Sunan, can we help you?
Would I be able to tell if he looks like possibly a librarian himself, or like the master librarian or anything?
You get the impression that he's he helps curate the place at the very least.
Yes, sir. There is actually the subject I am looking up is actually quite broad in many ways, but I guess if I were to narrow it down, would you by chance have any sections that would deal with studies upon the Corvin's yearning?
The Corvin's yearning. There have been a fair few books written about that. Most of them have been biographies detailing the accounts from Corvin who have endured it. Are you looking for anything specific?
Possibly, well, if there were ever any cases of extreme symptoms of the affliction, but also if there were any known remedies to help with symptoms of it.
Well, as far as remedies go, certainly no cure has ever been found, if that's what you're looking for, at least not that you would be able to find within the walls of this library. But as for general remedies, general aids, treatments, I'm not an expert on the condition myself, but come with me. And he sort of beckons with a couple fingers and starts leading you deeper into the stacks. I assume you're following?
Oh, yes.
All right. He leads you up a flight of stairs to the second level of the library and into one section, sort of gestures to a handful of the books. Sort of, there's like almost an entire shelf that seems to be dedicated to this subject. Right, here we are. This is largely what we have on the subject. Mostly biographies from individual Crovan, like I said. Some of them might have had more severe cases, documenting their personal experiences. Let me see. There might be... And he sort of pulls one book out, sort of slides it out from the stack. Sort of an older tome, very well worn. Doesn't look like it's seen much use. It's kind of a little dust covered. He sort of blows it off a bit. This one here. I've not read it myself, so I'm not sure how much you'll find, but it might have some information for you. He sort of turns it around, holds it to you.
Yeah, Ludviek happily accepts it. He says, "Thank you. I do know that an actual cure is something probably not that will ever be discovered. But if you must know, I have a friend who... she does have a case of it. I'm trying to see if there is a way to at least muddle the symptoms that she has. At least so she can get a night's sleep."
Well, I feel like you might have a bit more luck talking to her about that than just any old tome.
They have tried. We have tried different things. I'm just hoping that a different perspective might offer, I don't know, another clue. Perhaps a nugget of wisdom from another.
Well, I've had a fair few Crovan students coming through these stacks over my time here, and I can tell you it's different for each of them. The general symptoms are the same, mind you. Restlessness, inability to sit still, a lack of an ability to feel content staying in one place for too long. It drives them to move, but many of them manage to find different ways of settling it. It's the phenomenon of getting the yearning to stop hounding their steps. For some, it was simply a matter of finding something for which they had immense passion for, that they could pour all of their focus into. And it helped, perhaps it didn't get rid of the yearning, but it directed their attention away from it. Others, that on its own is one of the main ways. This book has, it might give you more information. No guarantees, though.
There are no guarantees in life, only uncertainties. And what we know.
Well, please return it to the desk when you're done, and do not take it out. There will be an alarm, and it will be a headache for everyone if you try.
Understood. All books still remain within the library itself. I thank you very much for your time, sir. And your advice as well. May you have a good rest of your day.
You as well.
And he's going to peruse the other books that are there among the shelf. And basically just pick 5 at random that, names at least pop out to him.
Right.
And he's going to probably spend the next...
All right. You can make an investigation check for this, actually, if you'd like.
Sure. No bonuses. All right, Lady Luck, this is all you.
19. You kind of focus, like you don't, instead of just picking 5 books at random, you kind of zero in on the subject matter of each tome. Each of these books does seem to have been written by a Crovan, just going by the naming convention, but you focus down on titles onto those that are primarily focused on the yearning itself, in the hopes that might help yield more specific insights. Until you have your stack of 5 tomes, you find a little table, sit down, and you start reading.
And he's going to be spending most of that for most of the day. Probably until about, I'd say, evening, a little bit around supper time, probably.
All right. Just so that we can address it, let's go ahead and, I'll just keep using that 19 investigation. You're very focused on this. That kind of protective instinct over Tuki you've been fostering since Kanala's rest is very much driving you here. So, going over each of the various tomes, you of course have reiterated at you things that you'd already sort of intuited, but are expressed in a much more evocative way. Namely, you sort of start to see a bunch of theories and speculations about what the yearning could be, why the Crovan have it. Some of the writings you see speculate that it might be a curse of some kind, a punishment from a divinity from the Kraven's forgotten past. Some suspect that it might just be a ramification of the centuries everyone spent underground during the interim before the emergence. A handful of others claim sort of ancient tales, sort of word-of-mouth, oral histories that some Kraven elders tried to pass down that imply that maybe at one point the Kraven lived in the sky, and that the yearning is them wanting to return to it. No evidence for basically any of these theories has been brought forward, however, so it's impossible to know for certain. What is known for certain is that the severity of the yearning and what it does to Kraven, it is variable. It changes from case to case. In cases like Tuki, it can be debilitating. This severe psychological need to move, to not stay in one place, to always be in motion, or just this deep-set restlessness starts to set in. If ignored, it can become physically painful to the point of torturous and even result in madness if ignored for too long. There are notes in at least one of the books you read about scenarios where a Kraven had to actually leave his hatchling, leave his hatchling and his mate because his yearning was rearing its head so heavily as he stayed in place to help raise the child that it was causing him basically to almost enter a suicidal state. And his mate urged him, go, it's okay, it's not worth it if you kill yourself. We'll manage just right. Other Kraven don't have it so severe and are able to ignore it, or at the very least distract themselves from it with hard enough work or passion projects. It is written that the big sort of goal for most Kraven is to find a way to settle their yearning. A settled yearning is one that is not gone, but at rest, where until whatever causes it to settle is separated from that individual Kraven, their yearning will not harass them. So for a Kraven who finds immense pleasure in painting, for example, as long as they are with their painting supplies and paint every so often, their yearning will not hound them. But not every Kraven finds a way to settle their yearning. Those ones just have to hope that whatever their yearning, that their yearning is on a weaker side of the spectrum. As for treatments that can lessen the symptoms, there are a handful of scenarios that are generally believed to be broadly, if only temporarily, effective. It is noted for some Kraven that being at a high altitude or being able to see for a vast distance has felt calming, that it was soothing to the yearning for some. Not all, but some. Others assert that using a form of magic that enables flight or levitation was also an immense help. And while this seems to be more specific for Kraven women, it seems that when mated pairs lay eggs and have children, that at least for the Kraven women, their yearning settles for a while as their attention is entirely on raising their hatchling. That being said, that does require a level of devotion and dedication to the hatchling, so Kraven parents who were neglectful or who did not want their hatchlings would not have found any settling in that yearning, at least not nearly as much. Outside of that, however, treatments seem to be largely individual and personalized. No two are the same.
Yeah, you try. All these, Ludviek is taking notes of all these different. Everything you said, Ludviek has been taking notes of because he's not going to remember all of it. But the thing that sticks out to him most is though just the treatments going to have to be individualized. So he's thinking, hey, making notes to talk to Tuki about that later. See if she's found any way to even lessen it a little. He's gonna figure something out here. But at least has offered a more perspective and different viewpoints on this. So this is, hey, he's been able to figure out a bit more. Good.
All right, 1 second. Someone's knocking on my door.
Somebody's knocking on your door.
The issue with Tuki is that her passion is travel.
All right, we found the solution. Tuki, you have to become a travel agent.
That or accident.
All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. That was my grandma not making any sense, as usual. All right, so that basically consumes all of Ludviek's day doing that.
Yep.
So you're going to be there for many hours. Pretty much until you're eventually asked to leave. But for
And he does, he'll stack all the books neatly in a pile and make his layout.
All right. And with that, we'll cut back in time a little bit to Minnove, Tuki, and Kari going to their spa treatment.
Anyways, Tuki, that's what the sock on the door means.
Don't see why it was such a big deal. That, like, I'm aware of these things. I just didn't know that was a signal for it.
I know what sex is.
Well, it's not something that I like. I didn't know exactly how to bring it up or talk about it. So, good to know. Good to know. But now you know.
Just wanted to make sure nobody thought I was that naive.
No, absolutely not. I'm sure you know exactly what sex is, but just wasn't entirely sure where the line was.
You didn't have to go into such graphic detail.
Listen.
I've been doing that. I'm rather done.
Anyway. Skid, what were you gonna say? Sorry, I thought that'd be a funny little...
Right, so with that cute little bit there done up. So Minnove, you do actually know where a spa is. You were probably directed to it last time you were here after a performance, or someone's like, that was a lovely song, but gal, you are covered in grime from the road. You need a spa day. Here's some money from my donation to your performance. The spa's over there. Get the good stuff. And then you went and did it, and you were reluctant to leave.
Anyways, this spa I'm about to take you all to is amazing. The best one in the town. The only one that I've been into the city, but the best one in the city. Quite relaxing, honestly. Though, that does bring up the question. Tuki, I know you have a hard time staying still.
Is it always that obvious?
A little
Doing
bit.
really well.
You're doing fantastic, sweetie. Absolutely fantastic. But, last thing I'd want you to do is be uncomfortable while trying to be relaxed and such. So if you need anything of the sort, let me know, and I could use my magic and help, maybe, with sleep. So, if it does become, I would like you to be awake and present for it, but if it does come to a point where you are very uncomfortable, you want to enjoy it. Just putting it out on the offer table. Putting it out there.
I suppose I'll have to wait until I know what the experience is like before I say yes or no.
Exactly.
None of these things.
It's exactly at your disposal there. Right,
All right.
Kari?
Yes.
Right. So, eventually you find your way to the structure in question, and it has style, to be certain. the whole sort of front veneer of it has a sort of red paint that makes it stand out very brightly against the rest of the city. The city itself has this very bright sort of silver and blue sort of aesthetic, but this building is like, it's bright fucking red. It stands out, and it has like these sort of very polished, metallic sort of representations of foggy mist clouds sort of stenciled onto the front of the building, giving it a very different vibe to the rest of the structure. And you can see a couple of like stacks sort of coming out of the roof with just not smoke, but what appears to be steam just sort of gently wafting through. And even from here, you can kind of pick up on the smells of some incense and very floral scents. Even the sort of dulled sense of smell of the Kraven can pick up floral scents and just the sort of general cleanliness of like soap and clean, warm water. For you, Minnove, it's almost a little overwhelming with your obnoxiously strong sense of smell.
Minnove actively like tries to push, like ignore it, like make it one of those like kind of like white noise, but like for your nose, like
like you've been here before. You were braced for it this time. The first time here, it was almost a solid wall for you to get through. You know it this time. It's like you'll get used to it. Once you've got Knuckles working out the knots in your back, you'll be fine.
Knuckles. All right.
Are you kidding her?
No.
Oh.
No, fingers.
All right.
They have knuckles. That's what we call the joints that allow your fingers to curl, friend.
So, let us get inside. And Minnove will open the door ever so nicely and let everybody walk in front of her.
So popping open the sort of circle-shaped door and letting everyone else in, you enter into a very cozy sort of warm space, sort of immediately off to your right. There is actually just a blazing hearth fire that makes the interior space warm. It's not necessarily at a high roar right now given the time of year, but it's lit up just a bit to counteract the rain outside. You can sort of hear the raindrops sort of pattering against the roof and the windows and the walls. Very nice wooden floorboards, and behind this lovely red wood counter, you see a Rythar woman sort of standing.
Hello there.
And interestingly, she has a very different sort of fur pattern to what you see with Ludviek or most Rythar you've met. You are not actually familiar with this woman, Minnove. It's been long enough and you were only here the one time, so you've not met this woman, but she has the fur pattern of a snow leopard.
Oh. Hello there. And Minnove's gonna kind of go up and put her hands on the counter.
Oh, it just pops outside my window again. All right. So the Rythar woman sort of bows her head to you. Greetings to our establishment. It is not often we receive patronage from one of your people. Welcome.
Well, thank you. I have a quick inquiry. I have, as you can see, two Kravian friends of mine. Are there any certain treatments that you would recommend that they undergo? We're doing a full spa time.
Ah, full spa time.
Treating.
All of our people here are well trained to tend to the needs of all of the peoples of Oris. Even kobolds, if you can believe it.
Oh, I can.
Well, as it is, we do have 3 types of treatment available, progressively more expensive for each.
How expensive are we talking?
Well, just a basic massage is 5 silver per person.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to get into something a little bit more intense with some relaxing body oils, some candles and the like, it bumps the price to 1 gold per person. And if you really want to get all of the best possible experience, we have a luxury treatment for 2 gold per person.
Minnove will be like, lean over and kind of whisper, "We'll take that one. I will," and she will like give her 6 gold.
All right.
Secretly.
All right.
But before she could do that, Kari slams 6 gold down and says,
Kari?
"My treat."
What? That 6 gold means more to you than me.
Thank you.
The right there sort of scoops the coins over, gives them a quick examination just to make sure they're real, then nods. Very well, then. Please, come with me, dears. And she gestures toward one of the doors heading towards the back and leads you through. Now, I have never been to a spa, so I have no idea what the fuck goes on in there.
To be fair, even if you had, we're two birds and a lizard. So
this is a new experience in general.
So I won't go into the specifics, but I will say that since you paid for the full luxury treatment, which is like, a gold piece is like $100, so you paid out the ass to get the good stuff. You get the good stuff. Each of you gets like a personal masseuse. And
I know what that masseuse does for a Minnove. It's obvious. They get out one of those car buffers that they use for wax. Just on scales.
So the treatments you sort of like do you like want like I don't like, is this like separate rooms or is it like in one room so that you can like chat while you're getting pampered? I don't know what the deal is here.
In the same. Well, typically it's separate rooms, but like media typically does like similar rooms, or groups typically do similar rooms.
We'll do a group so that if you have any banter you want to have between yourselves, you can. And you do actually have somewhat different treatments between the two of you. For one thing, you are asked as you're sort of prepping if there is any concern that the yearning might cause any discomfort, because they apparently have smelling salts on hand that, if sort of inhaled, can induce a sense of extreme calm and almost lethargy, but not quite. It's just very much a state of calm relaxation that is enough to maybe let someone actually enjoy what they're getting through restless feet syndrome.
Minnove will definitely be like, please, can we have at least 2 pounds?
2 fucking okay. It's not like you're taking it, it's like you're presented with a bowl of the stuff and instructed to sniffer.
2 pounds to sniffer.
2 pound. 2 pounds and 80 pence.
Am I seriously that bad?
I want to make sure you are completely fine. I'm just going above and beyond, overboard, if you should say. Plus, also Kari. Kari should be treated. He paid for it, so.
Yeah, with that much, you're not going to relax them. You're going to turn their muscles into jello if they fold right off the bone.
Perfect.
Anyways, so
I do not intend to be a slow roasted bird.
So yes, I won't charge any extra from you guys for those. Those are just optional things, if you think you can go without, but very well, but it's right there if you need it. But either way, over the course of the next 50 minutes, it is honestly remarkable the amount of relaxation they're able to just work into your respective bodies. For one thing, Minnove, your scales get polished.
Oh, this is nice.
So you will be shiny and a little slippery when you leave here. Not even counting just, the massage that comes with it, you are going to be sparkly. Don't know why I said it like that, but
I'm imagining that despite this being a high medieval fantasy thing, they somehow have a car buffer.
I mean, maybe not one that spins, but I'm sure they have a nice round brush that'll be good for getting into the gaps in between the scales.
That would feel really nice. I don't have scales, but that would feel really nice.
Oh, yeah, no, it feels fucking
really nice.
amazing. Here's the thing. Without another kobold on hand, there is one bit of your personal hygiene, Minnove, you don't really get to tend to very often, and that's that kobold scales have pretty deep ridges in between them, especially in the chest plates and the scales on the face. And dirt and other things can get into the gaps in between those scales and cause a lot of itching and irritation, but it's a very slow buildup, so you might not notice. Before your mom vanished, she often was in charge of, getting that grime out of your back and like out of like the back of your tail where you can't easily reach. And like having those things properly removed by an extra pair of hands here, it is such a relief to not have that irritation in the gaps.
Ugh, that's so nice.
As for Tuki and Kari, it is different for you two. You don't have scales, you have feathers. So, not fur. These things will pop out if they're tugged too hard. So what you get is, like, I'm not really sure what you do for bird hygiene, to be perfectly honest with you, but your feathers wind up being very well, I guess, brushed.
Creamed?
I mean, I'm not sure that's the kind of spa, but all right. I am
the
joking.
Happy ending was that's the luxury.
Is this Minnove?
I am sorry. I should not have made that joke. Anyway.
But
yeah, no, a good brushing, like I guess like the equivalent of a good shampooing. Whatever the equivalent would be, I'm not up to date on bird hygiene. And of course, all of you also get a very good deep tissue massage. And with the aid of the relaxing smelling salts, you're able to sit through it, Tuki, with only a minimum degree of fidgeting in your feet. And so, when all is said and done, and you, if there's any conversations you wish to have as you're being pampered, by all means.
I don't think I've ever had, the last time I think I cleaned the grime out of my scales was the last time I was here. Oh, this feels so nice.
That's disgusting.
Listen, when you're on the road yourself, and it's kind of awkward to ask people, okay, can you, get under my scales? It's very weird. It's not something you really ask people you just met on the road, especially when you're not really sure if they're trying to kill you or not. Oh, it's so nice. How are you two feeling?
It's been a while since I've done anything like this. Oof, you don't realize what's gotten tightened up until it starts to loosen.
How's Tuki feeling?
What about you, Tuki? How are you feeling? Your first spa?
I don't think she verbally answers, but you can hear, thank you, both of you.
Oh. Like just crying.
Yeah.
I'm glad it helped.
Kari eats an eye cucumber.
Kari, you're not supposed to eat those!
Okay.
They're supposed to keep your swelling down from your eyes. Now you're gonna have swollen eyeballs.
They give you another cucumber.
That's smart.
Yes. Unfortunately, I don't think you can do that.
No, I can't.
I mean, you can.
Carnivore.
It just won't go well.
Carnivore. I get a bad digestion. Minnove's gonna, as she lays back, she's gonna look over Tuki again and be like, I'm glad it worked. You deserve this. Honestly. With all the shit you've been through, and I'm kind of surprised Ludviek, and not really surprised Boron didn't say yes to this, but kind of surprised that Ludviek didn't join us. He seemed like the pampery kind of type. Maybe if I
don't think the two of them know how to have a nice, relaxing day where they spoil themselves.
You know what? Some days you just need to spoil yourself. You just need to
Exactly.
That's what I keep trying to tell them, and they keep being like, "Oh, we do it all the time, and we are." She's trying to imitate Ludviek best she can, and we got good meat in our bellies and food. But
shit.
Funny thing
And
is that the
Boron-
two Kraven who are here could more perfectly replicate that voice than you ever could.
Right? And then Boron, well, Boron's not really been the most of. Well, he's grown on. I've grown on him. One of the two. Though I do mean to ask him, what the hell happened to his eye? Like, does that ever curate Wanda?
He's a mercenary. It probably was gouged out in a fight.
Well, what if it was gouged out, or if he just wants to look cool? There's two different sides to this coin.
Maybe he just was eating breakfast one morning and he missed with the fork.
That's a really bad move. You should just, as a mercenary. That's Tuki, have you ever missed with a fork and almost gouged out your eye?
No, I don't think so.
Christ.
See? The most dexterous of us. Well, mind you, Boron's more of a like a right? Like a you know, he probably needs the biggest massage. We should try to bring him here before we leave.
I'm not paying for that.
Fair, very fair. Thank you again, though, Kari. It's very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. So, your spa day goes very, very well, and you walk away feeling very relaxed and very refreshed, and in Tuki's case, probably cleaner and more refreshed than you have felt in years. So,
No, my legs are working all the way.
Minnove will be beside her, help, having her, let her use her horns as, almost like a cane or a stabilizer. If she needs it.
That is super cute. I love that.
I mean, I'm at perfect height. Might as well use it.
Right?
Yeah.
You both again. I don't know if I'll ever. I suppose I could pay you back. We did get money. I've never had money. Never had friends.
Well, that's up to Kari, but
I didn't actually hear what did Tuki say?
A little closer to your mic, please.
Sorry.
It's all good.
She said she's never had money before. She was talking about paying Kari back. And I was like, oh wait, I could actually pay you back. I've never had money before. I've never had friends before.
Tuki, there's something I want you to know. You don't have to pay me back. The money I just spent, I won't even think about in, 30 minutes.
Alright. I wish there was something I could do to at least show I appreciate.
Do you appreciate the massage? Everything else that they did that the DM decided not to describe?
Yes.
And there you go. Appreciation acknowledged and received.
it was a well-deserved day. Especially for adventurers like ourselves.
Alright.
Don't get much of these kinds of times. Enjoy them while they're here.
No, we don't. Well, okay, maybe you don't.
But
14-minute warning, by the way.
well, we should probably head back to the residence and see what kind of dinner and food has been prepped. I'm sure with clean feathers, clean scales, full bellies,
We will sleep like babies tonight.
I sure hope so.
You were just like making this poor Kraven's life, Minnove. It's like, come on, we're gonna live on the edge for a bit. Okay, now I'm gonna go help you meet your friend. Okay, now I'm gonna make you feel orgasmically relaxed.
Orgasmic?
Okay.
Man, you hear how people groan when they get massages. You can't tell me it doesn't sound similar.
Oh no, it does. It 100% does.
Well, there we go then. So, you make your way back to the Halkis abode. Basically just you two. Or you three, rather. I imagine, like, at that point... Yeah, I imagine Boron probably will have made it back at this point, because you guys would have been out for a couple of hours. Ludviek will be the last one back, because he's, like, at the academy for, like, hours and hours and hours.
Well, actually, Boron takes a very long while to get back. Like, it's probably the guys are sitting around dinner table before he's back. He's, yeah.
All right. I guess Ludviek will be the next one back then.
Okay.
Man, Ludviek, you missed a great day. Absolutely great.
Yeah, and as he enters the door, he's just still contemplating, and he's like, "Oh, you had a good time then at this spa."
Yes.
There was a very pretty Rythar you could have met.
Oh, indeed. Maybe next time. Though, now that I look at it, yes, I would say, looking at the three of you, you are positively glowing. Perhaps next time I should give it a try myself. But, no, it's a very good day. Very good day. Many things to think on. But mostly, What is Boron? I've yet to see him.
I believe he's still with the...
Ah.
Doing Boron... blacksmithy Boron stuff.
Only missed a day.
Either way,
Yeah,
enjoy the meeting.
kind of sorry, Mick. You basically didn't get to do anything this session.
No,
Sorry,
that's
Nick,
okay.
we kind of talk too much. Sorry.
No, that's perfectly okay.
Right. Well,
I enjoyed listening.
well, if there's any further discussions you all wish to have, now's the time. Otherwise, I can start fast forwarding through the rest of our downtime.
Well, Boron is getting back at dinner time, and he is at least as much glowing as the others. He is covered in sweat and grime, but he's pretty much ecstatic, and like after a very, very thorough workout.
Yeah, looks like he did go to the spa. She jokes.
Spa? Jeez.
Yeah, that's exactly what it sounded like. I told you.
I just miss the forge from now and again.
Is there anything you didn't do, Boron? Herded sheep and blacksmith, mercenary?
I also am an accomplished carpenter.
My god. You're a jack of all trades, truly.
Yeah. And master of none. Well,
I mean,
I fight
that's
pretty
arguable.
well, but alright.
And we gotta keep in mind, this guy is like a fossil. He is really old. The way we're kind of framing him leveling up isn't necessarily like his original fighting style would have been something very different. He's shifting from fighting with raw strength to fighting with tactics because he doesn't have the raw strength in his aging body to just be a raw strength fighter anymore. So that's why we're leaning Battlemaster.
More or less,
It's like, I'm an aging fuck. I have to fight smart, not hard.
Well,
We're the old man and the young man's profession.
We're the old man in a profession where the people die young.
Gonna eat the food.
All right. So, enjoy a nice meal. Some good downtime.
Yay.
And the next, I'd say, I'll roll it. The next 3 days are largely spent just unwinding. As you are brought into the first days of the season of autumn. It'll still be some time before temperatures start to get genuinely cold, but all the same. And it is on this day, I'd say around lunchtime, that you're all sort of just, I imagine like the group's just kind of hanging out in a lobby at the moment, like one of the lounges, just kind of relaxing between things, digesting your lunch, when the door pops open and in walks Tora. Friends. Sir Halkus would like to speak with you all in his office. It is, he says it is a matter of modest urgency.
All right.
Okay.
That's
right.
All right. So, making your way, sort of following Tora through the halls, you're soon brought to a very nice office. You see Halkus sort of seated behind a very wonderful desk. You see a portrait sort of hung up on the wall behind him depicting a human woman who doesn't take much to see, has at least some familiar resemblance to Donnell. A painting of Donnell's mother, perhaps, who you have noticed is conspicuously absent. Probably deceased, were you to guess, but it hasn't come up. But Gottfried is looking over a stack of papers as you all enter, lifts his head. Ah, friends, please, come in, make yourselves comfortable.
What, you summoned us?
I did. You recall the night you brought my son home that I mentioned to you all that I might have need of your services again, if you were willing.
Yes.
Well, the time, it seems, has come. The things I was waiting on have not come. And that means I must now turn to others to see this done. And you all have demonstrated your capability and your competence and your reliability twice over. First, in your survival and exposure of the corruption in Canola's Rust, and second, in protecting the people of Lamsong from the Bleak Feather Gang, and most recently, safely delivering my son back to me. The simple truth is, I don't think agent is the right word, but I work very closely with the solemn erudites. Do you know of us?
Roll to see if I know of it.
History check.
They sound like they're in relation.
Anything mercenary related? Possibly not.
The name sounds familiar. Are they connected by chance to the same people who were like guarding the academy?
Kind of.
All right. Well, I'm still gonna roll.
All right. So, with that, so
Oh.
wow.
These-
Okay.
these
So I
great
mean, all of you know at least a little bit. Boron knows the least because you've never had an occasion to work with the Solemn Erudites. But what is known among all of you is that the Solemn Erudites is the name given to a faction of archaeologists, mages, and historians who derive their title and name from isolated groups back during the age of Baracus over 100 years ago, who kept hidden and protected various sources of knowledge, various books or works of art that would have been destroyed under the previous regime's auspices, and whose collective knowledge and understanding of various forms of sciences or what have you helped ensure that the people of the Academy City would survive the long winter 100 years ago. Since then, the Solemn Erudites have become an official function of Valry, though the finer specifics are kept somewhat secret, as it is their job, as you understand it, to find, survey, and catalog anything of historical value and determine what is best to do with it, whether it is safe and productive to administer to the people at large, or if it would be better if some things, dangerous things, might be better put away for the time being. Beyond that, though, the finer specifics of how they work isn't made public knowledge because, well, it's kind of tricky business.
Right.
Sort of, yeah.
Well,
I guess you could say. How does
Yes.
What does this pertain to?
the simple truth is I coordinate various digits, I suppose you could call, of the erudites under the jurisdiction of the head archivist here in Asmara. And normally it is my responsibility to send survey teams to recently discovered locations, old ruins, sites of historical relevance, to survey, analyze, catalog, and all the other things that are done by historians. But, unfortunately, I am short-handed at the moment. And there is a recent discovery that has been sitting idle and unexplored for far too long now. If you are willing, and you are able to be discreet, you are capable of confronting potentially dangerous creatures in a hazardous and uncivilized natural environment, then I would ask your aid. And that's where we'll pick up next time.
Alrighty.
Certainty of death. Small chance of success.
I like it.
What are we waiting for?
We had our fluff episode.
We did, and now it's on to Arc 2, officially. So, thank you all, ladies and gentlemen, so much for joining us for this session of Ringlight Fables. It was much fun. We'll see you next time. Until then, take care of yourselves, don't be a dick, and keep listening. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye. Oh,
What if I don't take care of myself? I continue being a dick and I don't listen.
Good questions
Then you
for another time.